And welcome to a VSA Capital video blog, where today we're having a quick update with Mark Bolton, the CEO of Panthera Resources, because there's actually some quite important news out today. It may not look important on the face of it, but actually it's quite important, isn't it, Mark? So if you want to just talk us through it, it's obviously the initial arbitration tribunal hearing is convened, but just talk us through why it is so important.
Well, the initial arbitration tribunal hearing kicks off the start of the process on the procedural calendar. The main aspect of the hearing is to create all the rules and procedures that the various parties will adopt throughout the process. For example, one of the key aspects is the procedural calendar, which will include things like the date for the various document submissions, including our statement of claim, and for example, also the target date for the final hearing. That's just a couple of the main aspects for that.
And look, we know you have to be patient with these litigation cases. And so anybody coming in at this stage to invest probably should be looking on about a 3-year time frame. But this would appear to be moving quite fast, actually, wouldn't it?
Yeah, look, we were hoping that the hearing might be in the new year, but as you saw, we announced only 2-3 weeks ago that that the panel had been convened. The panel's already put together the first hearing, including all the supporting documents, and convened. So yeah, it's certainly moving. What I'd say is arguably much faster than the usual court system. Obviously, we don't have the any decisions by the tribunal. They'll revert back to us in good time, but I don't expect we'll wait too long for those for any decisions.
But again, it's sort of laying out the path of the timetable, and it's the timetable and announcements that sort of drives share price movements in this sort of asset class, isn't it? So, I mean, the next, obviously, the one that a lot of people are waiting for, which we're probably still 3 months away from, is the notice of claim. But this sort of sets the timetable for you announcing that, doesn't it?
Indeed, that's one of the key aspects of this stage and the this hearing, which is the lawyers will call the procedural calendar. So all of the key milestones, for example, the statement of claim, the response or reply date for the deadline for the Government of India, our second submission, and ultimately the government's final reply, with the final step being the final hearing. There is only typically one formal hearing to hear the merits, etc., and consider the damages at the end of the process. So that entire calendar will be settled. Obviously, it's subject to change along the journey by at the discretion of the panel, but subject to any further changes that they may choose to make. It does set out the timetable for the entire process, which is will give investors comfort in terms of how long this is going to take, but also gives them a calendar as to what are the key events that they can expect along that journey, and effectively a news flow along that journey.
Yeah, and look, a little bit of promotion for VSA Capital as well. We just published research on you, Mark, which sort of this ties in with everything we're saying. We describe how you are part of an asset class of litigation companies, how you have LCM actually basically funding all of this, which not only removes risk, but shows how certain they are of an outcome. And obviously on our research, we're saying that we think you should be valued at 40p, against a current price of about 8.5p, not on the outcome of the case, but just because of where you are in the timetable, etc. I mean, I can't. Asking you to say, do you agree with our note is a little bit silly on a video like this, but have you got any sort of additional comment that you would make about the VSA Capital note on you as Panthera Resources, Mark?
Look, it is an independent note, and whilst we did get the opportunity to review the draft, we made no comment as to the conclusions and the value set by yourself. Now, once again, thank you very much for doing the note. I'm very happy with the conclusion that and the recommendation that VSA is independently derived. It is certainly consistent with our own analysis as we considered it going down this arbitration path. It's also now the second piece of research from a city broker with similar order of magnitude numbers. We've long held the view that we are effectively an instrument, a financial instrument in the form of a real option over an arbitration. And we've argued that we're a mispriced instrument. It's comforting to see, and both comforting, disappointing, but nonetheless an opportunity for investors that option or that instrument has significant upside for new investors. So the recent movement in our share price, which I would argue is being driven by your recent publication, Andrew, is moving us closer to that target number.
Yeah, and look, again, I just stress that our target number of 40p, that is not what we think the outcome should be. We think that's where you should be trading today. The outcome clearly would be significantly higher. But I'm glad you think that our note has been very helpful, Mark. I appreciate that. Anyway, look, I think for anybody who hasn't seen our note, please do request it. Mark, I think as we all know, is based in Perth. That's where he is now. But I believe, Mark, you're going to be up this way probably after the mining in Dover, so sort of the beginning of February. So again, if anybody wants to meet with Mark to discuss this, it is a very specific asset class, then that'll obviously be the time to have a little chat with Mark in person.
Sure. And look, Andrew, obviously we'll all down tools momentarily for the festive season, but certainly in January available as well via VC.
Absolutely, and obviously we are, and my analyst is always happy to talk through the note. But I mean, it's great that the news is coming through as we'd expect, and the story just keeps going along the timetable. So it's all good news, which is great. So Mark, thanks for taking this time to have a quick update chat. I'm sure we'll be speaking again soon.
Thanks very much, Andrew.